There I am. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the Spiritual Coffee Corner with the Guru Mama. I am your guide through the cosmos and the energies of the day, bringing you a little bit of the 411. Good morning, good morning. So, welcome. Couple things that are on my mind. Couple. There's always a couple. Um, and just watching the energies transpire right now as the moon is in Sagittarius and it's making a little sextile over to Saturn. And, that's air and fire. It's igniting. There's some passion there. But of course, Saturn wants structure with it. So there's a lot to do with structuring and restructuring right now. And even with two fingers of God. So when you have two fingers of God, like I'm in my chart, I got three, and they seem to all point to Jupiter and Aries, which is fine. I mean, because you know that you have to get things started and expanded and move forward. And that's when you have a chart and there's certain aspects in your chart, you get used to working with them because that's just a part of who you are. You just, okay, this is what I do and this is how I do it. And the transits really help to guide you through, the new energies or different energies that may be hitting parts of your chart and parts of what's going on. So right now we have, a lot with Leo energy coming in, which is your fifth house. Leo rules the fifth house. And we also have with that Leo energy, because Mercury and your fourth house. Yeah, your fourth house. So we have your fourth and fifth house being activated right now because Mercury's in there. And then we have the sun will be going in later on this week, and it's going to be activating your fifth house. And your fifth house is about your inner child, your creativity, and how things are working within that energy. And then we have Venus going into Virgo, which would be your sixth house. So when you pull up your chart and you take a look at, what are the sign, like, okay, it might be your fifth house, but your fifth house might be something else. It might be Libra, Scorpio, or, another sign. So that, that sign has to answer to the Leo energy, has to answer to the sun. So, or whatever the ruler is of that, house. So it's like you're going into a house, like you're walking into a house. And as you walk into this house, it's not your house. You don't own the house. It's somebody else's house. So the fifth house is Leo's house, and the ruler of Leo is the sun. So we're having to have this new energy that's going to be coming in and having to answer to it. Okay. And as you're answering into it, we look at what it is that needs to be done. And as the moon is making aspects today, and with the finger of God, I went on a little tangent there, it is getting us to start to take decisions and actions and towards freedom and adjust them. Now it's making the finger of God with Mercury in Cancer. And Mercury in Cancer, Mercury is making a sextile over to Neptune. Or not Neptune, Uranus. So they have this, like, it's like a little arch there. And then they're pointing down at 150-degree angles, just out of your peripheral, towards the moon in Sag. So it's saying and it's pointing. And anytime you get a yod, that means it's fated. That means there's predestined things that are coming in that need to be done. And with Saturn coming in, Saturn is also what you've come in here to do. So where your Saturn is saying, what did you come in here to do? And are you working on it? Are you working on your structure? Are you working on your creativity, or wherever the Saturn is in, happening? And right now Saturn is in Aquarius. I mean, he's one of the rulers of Aquarius, so he's at home. So he's looking at, are you working at your community? Are you working at how you are collaborating with yourself within your world? How are you creating the structures that you are needing in order for you to bring in the expansions and bring in the visions and the passions into your life. So he's asking those questions. Those questions are being asked to you at this time. And it is wanting to have, it's a little boost, a little bit of happy energy there in amongst things that may not feel happy. And with that moon in Sag, it is asking about stability, because Venus does want stability. She's gone in, she's in Virgo. She's not happy. But Saturn is saying, I want stability. What is my stability? And now, right now in the world around you, you might not feel like you have stability. You might not feel like there's anything that is helping to ground you, to have you focus, to have you create that foundation. So that's where Saturn is coming in, saying, how can you create that? What kind of energies can you bring in and around you? What are the people that you need to do or work with in your life to create a foundation like that? And that could be that you have to sit down and talk to people in your life. You may not want to talk to them. Maybe you don't want to have those conversations, but those conversations, in order for you to live a more wholesome life, you need to have those conversations. It's important. And this is where, as things are moving and shifting in the world around us, there's a lot of conversations within families, within work, within your environment that need to be discussed. And a lot of times we don't want to discuss them. We don't want to talk about them. So whether they are finances, whether they are health, whether they are travel, whether they are adventure, your spirituality, I mean, the list goes on. Those are only some of them, right? You have to talk to people. Yes, you do. I know. Sometimes it's like, fuck, why do I have to talk to these? Why do I have to talk to these humans? Like, why am I on this earth with other humans? Part of our life lessons, right? So sometimes what it comes in, and Jupiter is going to be in Pisces, and he's at the last degrees, and he's quincunx with Vesta in Libra. So Libra wants balance. Vesta wants a good life. Vesta wants nice things. She's happy. I'm in Libra, but Libras want to talk. So there's that understanding of wanting to talk. So adjusting your home and your space and your body, it's, to make it the way that you want. Many times how we adjust ourselves, or how we sit up, or how we move our body has a lot to do with how we are projecting our energies into the world. Simple adjustments within our own body, by sitting up straight, like putting your just by putting your shoulders up to your ears and then rolling them back and having your chest out, is a very authoritative, a direct energy of opening up that heart chakra, allowing for your heart, this beautiful energy to shine through. But many times we're slunched and we don't want our heart to be out there. We don't want to be seen. And this is where we're coming forth, and especially with Mercury in Cancer, it's, in that Jupiter, and, again, Jupiter's coming in saying, what is your emotional reaction? And if it's hysterical, it's historical. So the thing is that this is bringing in a lot of anxiousness, overthought, overthinking, overprocessing energies, because we are wanting to make beautiful energy. We are wanting to create prosperity and abundance and create more harmony in our life. But in doing that, and if you haven't had it, that means there's some adjusting and some figuring out of why things need to change. So that's the other thing. It's like asking yourself, well, why do things need to change? I'm doing fine here. Everything's great. I don't have to worry about nothing. Cool. Then you don't have to worry about nothing. Then continue on with how you are. Are you happy? Things are going great. You've been doing your Saturn work. Everything is going hunky dory for you. Awesome, right? You're in that flow. Continue on to that flow. If there's any adjustments that you have to make them, right? But you might be in the other boat that you're saying, well, yeah, a lot of things have to change in my life. I have to change my diet. I have to change my daily routine. I have to get into an exercise program. Yeah, I have to look at how much sugar I intake every day. So there's things that I do have to adjust. Those are going to take conscious decisions on a daily basis to do, by reading labels, by making sure that you are setting that time for your exercise program and your meditations, if that, those are your priorities. Making time to do those things. Maybe you want to learn a new subject, or you are looking at taking on some new courses. Well, you have to do some adjustments on saying, where am I going to take them? Are they online? Do I have to go into the school? What time of day? So I have to redo my schedule for that. So there's a lot of energy, of inspiration today for you to receive, to get ready for transitions that are coming in. And especially with this full moon. And this full moon is I'm going to say it's really a mover and a shaker. It is very much an activator. This full moon is really bringing in where we had the new moon in January of 2020, which was really bringing in some new insights and new information, which had to do with the world around us, information like what is this pandemic, what is COVID, to when we ended up with a square in Taurus. And that square in Taurus this year, was like, okay, is this really the direction that I need to go? Is this the right way to where we're at this full moon now? So this is coming into these movements, and these flows are very much a gestation period. And these gestation periods are getting us to really look at and see what are the steps are we putting in place in order for us to create the communities that we are wanting to create that of what we are wanting to participate and look at and see. Because the Aquarius energy is very much the audience. You look and you want to participate. Are you in the Rocky Horror Show where you participate in it? Is there something on stage that you really want to participate? You want to be a part of this, or are you just wanting to sit in the back and not participate in anything and just, yeah, I'll just sit back here. Yet the crowd is kind of pushing you, or you're getting pushed around in some format. So we do have a forward moving energy, yet this forward moving energy is really getting us to look at life and the world around us in new ways and in new insights. And sometimes it's, overwhelming and frustrating because there's so much information that's coming out to us. And a lot of the information is, when you look at it and you're just like, well, that doesn't feel right. Where many are, and I was watching a show last night and I thought it was kind of hilarious because of the propaganda that was in this. And it was what was it called? The Lotus Hotel or something. And it was very boring. It was things that go on with the Lotus Hotel. And I just thought, it's kind of, anyways, there's one scene where the mother was, all for Hillary Clinton, talking about Hillary Clinton, and like, what do you, her daughter and her girlfriend mentioned something, and just, what are you dissing Hillary? Hillary has done so much for women, and da 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 da, and went off on how wonderful Hillary was. And I thought that was kind of odd in a show, because I thought, wow, what a propaganda that was to make Hillary look great, and I got to say, there's a lot of things that Hillary did. And even as being a lawyer, some of the things that she did was not for women, was not for an activist for women's rights. she was kind of a scumbag, with some of the things that she's done to other women. So I was just sort of like, interesting. So this is the thing, is like a lot of shows that you're going to be watching, or a lot of things that are going to be coming out, is that you're going to be seeing an underlying propaganda of wanting to bring in the reset, and wanting to bring in that, you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to, you don't have to work for anything. You just go ahead, stay in the back of the audience, just sit there and be numb. Yet we have energies. We have the sun and the moon and Jupiter and Mars and Venus, and all of them coming together and saying, no, we don't want you to be numb. We want you to be creative. We want you to create. We want you to bring in your energy and your space and your body. And it's allowing yourself to adjust to your new energies so that you can walk forward in your greatness and not be bullied around. And that's where these fingers of God comes in, because they're saying, state your terms. What is it that you want? Yet you'll be walking out, or you'll be seeing or hearing things from a political view, even from a variety view, from shows saying, no, this is what, in order for you to really live a more harmonious life, or do the things you want to do, which I feel is like almost wanting to keep people in purgatory. Because there are different layers in purgatory, for as you are wanting to ascend, there are different ones, if you want to stay in the lust, or if you want to stay in this void of saying, no, I just, many people are saying, well, I just want to travel. I just want to go out and I want to do things, not thinking as of the whole and the collective, and not coming, saying, I want to go to concerts and I want to do all of these things. And when it comes into looking at, well, what is the best interest for the whole? What is the best interest for the collective? What is going to bring in and ignite the fire and the passion and the vision for you? And you might say, well, that is my passion. That is my vision. And that's going to bring in so much for me. And the thing is, the next step is that, are you willing to do all? How much are you willing to give up for that? And that's where this energy, because there's this pull of the yod, there's pull of this energy. I'm saying, but we want to create something new and different over here for you. And many people are saying, but I just want what I had. And here's the energy saying, but we want to create something better for you. But you got to trust us. And that can be a hard one. That could be a hard one. And I think many people who want the freedom and the stability within their life right now, and the finger of God is so freedom it will be, but you got to state your terms. What are your terms for your freedom? Are your terms for your freedom is to follow the dictatorship of what is being implemented and pushed upon people at this time? And that saying that, yes, that's what my freedom is. It's your freedom to give up certain things that you do in order to attain something else. Could be. And that's what you have to look at. And when you do that, see, we have the energy of Cancer coming in. What do you feel? I feel. That's what the Cancer energy is. I feel. What are you feeling? Mercury's coming in, and Mercury doesn't like to feel. So he's going over to Uranus, and they're pointing over at the moon and saying, well, what do you feel? What is it that you are wanting to create in your life? And how does that make you feel? And is it igniting you? Is it allowing you to bring in everything in? And is that I feel bringing in the I know, the Aquarius energy, the Aquarius full moon coming forth? Are you stepping into your knowingness? Because the Aquarius knows what they want, knows where they want to go. It is the scientific brain. It is the expansion into the air energy. So they know. So are you expanding into your knowledge of knowing, and then bringing in your creativity? Fifth house. Love this. So you're bringing in that creativity, that inner child. Are you allowing yourself to work through your shadows and Step into your feelings so that you are able to know what it is that you truly solely desire. And many people will say, well, I want freedom. So what is what is freedom? That's the thing. It's like when you say I want freedom, what is it? You got to get to the specifics, and that's where this energy is coming into. You got to get into the specifics of what it is that you are desiring. You got to start taking off those layers, those peels, those onion layers. You got to start taking them off and saying, what is it that I truly desire? And I'm seeking the truth. I'm seeking the truth, and the truth cannot hurt you. You seek the truth to embrace your reality. So if you're seeking your truth to embrace your reality, you got to come into your feelings. You got to come into that knowingness and say, I know what I feel. I know what is true for me, because that's going to bring in my creativity. And creativity can be in many areas. It's not just art or, doing drawings or things like creativity. Is how do you work during your day? How do you move through your day? All of that is your creativity. So this is looking at how am I going to bring in my creativity in everything that I do, my thoughts, my walk, my being, my feelings. How am I going to bring this into my everything that I do in order for me to create the more harmonious, balanced world that I am looking for, in a world that is totally unbalanced? And looking at how, as the Capricorn says, how am I going to use it? Because Saturn comes in with that Capricorn energy, even though he is in Aquarius, but he's asking you, how are you going to use that? How are you going to implement your energies so that you are living in the vibrations that you know are right for you? And honoring that. And that means that you're not going by being pushed by what other people say. So this isn't being pushed to do something by others. You're doing solely the work that you need to do, and you're looking at the facts that you need to, you're looking at both sides. You're weighing it out and saying, wow, okay, this is the direction I need to go into. And as you step into that direction, that's where you find the uses and the knowing and the creativity for what it is. One more card. Whew, Force. Oh, Mars. Yeah. The other yacht is on Mars, and Mars is in Leo, right? And Mercury, once Mercury gets, and he does an opposition to Pluto this week, is it this week? Yeah. Once he does this opposition to Pluto, this is going to be bringing in a lot of forcefulness of going and using your force, right? So this is where this energy is coming from. If you're not stepping into your power, if you're not stepping into your creativity, this week is like, well, I'll be nice, a 20 out of 10. Which will cause a lot of anxiety, which will cause a lot, because there is so much instability in what the world has, yet they're trying to bring in the stability. Like the Saturn is trying to bring in stability with community and unity, yet there's so much instability within the world. When you're finding that now they're locking down even further Australia, like why if most of the population is vaccinated? Why? So that brings in questions and concerns of wanting to create what you want to create, but yet you're feeling like, well, what's the next thing? Are they bringing us into permanent lockdown? What's the reason for bringing us into permanent lockdown? Is it because they want to do the reset? And what is the reset? Are you willing to give up what you own, what you've worked for, to say, no, you just rent everything. You got to sign a 99-year lease. You don't really own anything. Nothing is like you own nothing. And it's the winter. It's winter there. Not a lot of people are getting vaccinated there. So, and it's, because the new Delta variant that's coming out. So it's coming into forcing or having the force coming in to do it, and locking down for what? Like, anyways, that's, I mean, I there's always going to be another excuse. And this then causes high unemployment, anxiety, suicide, mental illness. And this is where the energies are coming in and saying, are you standing in your power? And are you taking the decisive action towards freedom? Are you taking the actions towards freedom? And that's where this finger of God comes in to adjust your plans. How are you taking your action towards freedom in your life? So this is where this energy is coming in. It's stepping up and stepping into our power, stepping into where we need to go. And as we are stepping into where we need to go, we have to look at our desires and our truth. Because there's a lot of outside energy that is telling us a different story. There's a different story out there. And that story is with others who are being paid a lot of money to say those stories, to continue you to be at the back of the line, at the back of the concert, instead of where you were supposed to be at the front. So this is you stepping into that power and doing your Saturn. Doing your Saturn. Find out where your Saturn is. What does it mean for your Saturn to be in your 9th house, in Aquarius or in Capricorn, or wherever your Saturn is, and embracing it, embracing that work that you've come in here to do. And some of it may not be an easy thing. If it's, there's lots of sensitive emotions that are going to be coming out, a lot of sensitivity, and your emotional reactions is a little bit bigger than the biggest trigger warrants. So there's a lot of triggers that are going to be igniting on people. And it has to do with frustrations, a lot of frustration. People are very frustrated. They're overwhelmed. Unfortunately, even with everything being opened right now, with everything being open right now, there's a lot of people that unfortunately their stores have to close, that they're not going to make it, and if we do have another lockdown, this is going to bring in a huge recession, bringing in that energy of a reset. And what does that mean? And what does that look like for each of us? So this is where this energy is preparing us. It's getting us to get prepared on the transformations that we are going to be needing to make within our own individual lives, within our families, the conversations that need to be happening. And looking at what, Saturn in Libra, in what house, and then looking at what house it's in. So for instance, my Saturn is in Aquarius, but it's in the 9th house. And being in the 9th house has to do with Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So I have to do a lot of work about expanding my spirituality and bringing the spirituality to the collective consciousness, because it's in Aquarius. So Aquarius means to bring it into the collective. And Saturn is about what are the structures I am doing to bring that in, and am I walking that path? And how do I fall off that path within my journey? And so I look at, okay, within my journey, what do I get hung up on and worried about when I'm supposed to be focused on my spiritual journey and bringing it to the collective? And that has to be the full focus, because that's part of the Saturn, because Saturn is your mundane journey within this world. So, and then you look at everything else that's going on and saying, okay, if that's what I'm supposed to be doing, then I have to, what is the words that are sitting and my truth right now. So looking at my truth and my reality and seeking the truth in order for me to continue this journey and to continue this walk. And it's coming out and being here each and every day. It's me coming out and looking at the actions that I need to take, and not everything that I agree with is being put out there. which is fine. I don't agree with it, but I'm going to educate myself in different ways. And in educating myself in finding out both sides. I've looked at what people say about one issue, and I look at what people say about another issue, and I find which one really feels right for me, because both of them are going to come in with their propaganda, right? Both sides are going to have their propaganda, no matter what it is. So you got to step into and say, okay, which way do I feel is right for me, and honoring that and what it is, and really doing the work with it is very important, as we are stepping forward, because we do want freedom. One wants freedom, the other wants stability, and this is an aspect part of fast moving and of this finger of God to the moon in Sagittarius, is because many of us want the freedom. I want freedom. No, I want stability. So is there a way that you can mix the two? Is there a way that you can have freedom within your stability? Saturn says, yes, there is. And so does Uranus, says, yes, there is. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to give you. But are there things that you are willing to give up or let go of or change and adjust to? Or are you trying to have this and not adjust or change anything in your life? It's like, I want to lose 20 pounds, but I still want to eat 3 packs of M&Ms and 4 liters of Coke a day. Maybe something there has to, adjust in order for you to have a healthier lifestyle. Maybe you have to go down to 1 liter of Coke a day and maybe 1 pack of M&Ms, and then slowly move away from that, and adjust yourself. But that's the thing, a lot of times people don't want to, and that's bringing in the sensitivities and the emotions, and people get hysterical. And when people get hysterical, it's going to trigger something. So there's going to be some triggers that are going to happen with people that we're going to be seeing, because they're not willing to make the adjustments. And that could be from a government standpoint, that could be from a collective standpoint of the people. So the government may not want to make a change, right? And the people are wanting a change. So there's going to be a little bit of a standoff with that, and wanting to state their terms and how they're going to go forward with everything. So, yeah, a little bit of craziness that's coming. That is, and this. I don't want to say this full moon is going to be explosive, but it is going to be opening a lot of awareness, opening up a lot more, because we are coming into a activation time with this full moon of opening up our awareness, opening up our hearts, and stepping into that golden path that we are walking on. And there's just, we were in this till 2025 and beyond. So a lot more people you're going to be finding are moving out of the city. A lot more people are wanting to make the big changes in their life, because they don't want to be in the cities. That's the whole thing. Is like the cities are not going to be giving people the freedoms that they are wanting. So it's to moving out of the cities is going to give people more of the freedom than they've had before. But it's also work. So if you're moving out of the city, meaning you won't have the conveniences that you do have in the city either. So you have to look at what are you giving up for that. So you're looking at the things that you're going to be giving up, because this is standing in your truth. I want to go and become a hobby farmist, or I want to live in a smaller community. What does the smaller community mean for you and your family, and the adjustments that you have to make in doing that? And for many people that could be like huge. So I'm moving to Manitoba. I'm totally that person who wants to lose weight but still have my chocolate almonds. Yeah, it is. It's one of those things. It's like, what do you and why do you why do we want to keep our chocolate almonds? It's like now I haven't had anything to drink since I got my heart scare, and my heart chakra opening up, and I haven't drank anything since then, which is huge because I'd have a drink practically every night, and twice on Fridays. But the smaller communities there's a lot, going for the smaller communities. Don't know, Kathy, if I'd moved to Manitoba. It's yeah, that's it's pretty, but yeah. Um don't know. But there are some really interesting little hamlet towns and stuff throughout Alberta and throughout BC and that. So, but it's making those adjustments on that. So, we'll see how things unroll, but it's a day. It's the day. I mean, this week is just going to get more intense and more intense. For everything, lots of lakes, lots of water, lots of mosquitoes and black flies too. Oh, Black Diamond. No, my husband wouldn't live in Black Diamond. There's no way my husband would live in Black Diamond or in any of those little small towns. There's too many rednecks. So, especially in Black Diamond. Black Diamond has been known to have the white supremacists out there. So, I don't think our energy would go very well in Black Diamond. And that. I don't know about Okotoks. Okotoks is nice. I like Okotoks. It's a nice little community. It's small. Cochrane isn't bad, but Cochrane is so haunted. It's so haunted. It's a very haunted place. So we'll see. We'll see how things transpire. There is artists, but there's a lot of white supremacists out there. So he's had friends who've already been threatened out in the Black Diamond area, and who even my son has had incidents out there in those smaller communities and being called the N-word. So yeah, and that's just like why go into a place that's going to cause more aggravation. And we had a couple of friends who went out there and they stopped in the town, Turner Valley, the same thing, who stopped in those like Turner Valley and Black Diamond and were asked to leave. Like, why are you stopping in our town? And he was a Jamaican guy. So, and he was, got a couple guys walked out and said, we don't want you here. Keep on going, buddy. And he goes, I'm from Calgary. It's like, I'm just stopping into the corner store. Don't care. So this is yeah. So there's some, I mean, and that's the other part too. You're going to find more of that because people are going to be wanting to protect their community. So outside people moving in, they're going to be very leery about having those people move into their communities. They don't want anybody different than them to move into their communities and be very and some of it you won't notice, like it's very sleight of hand. And so a lot of people won't even realize, especially if you are not a minority, I guess you'll say. So yeah, Turner Valley, Black Diamond, all of those places. Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, the thing is, if everybody's, Candace is a beautiful, and especially with her accent, with her Aussie Kiwi accent, it's kind of a mixture. That's what I'm going to say. Her accent's a little bit of a mixture of it both, but where a lot of people wouldn't put you as an Indigenous person, but when you're totally Black, that's when they really target you. Or even I've had Muslim family who they didn't want there. So it's it's well, I mean, Alberta is there's a lot of rednecks in Alberta. I mean, as you're going through Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, there's a lot of rednecks, unfortunately. I mean, and they do it in different ways. They do it in a very subtle, quiet way. So, yeah. But anyways, we'll see. So right now, I'm working on how am I going to go forward within my own life, my own business. My business is always comes up, and what are the things that I want to bring forward as for teaching, and also with my mentoring and coaching, my is a huge one, and for people to for those things, and also to looking into where I want to what are the courses I want to start teaching more of. And it's I thought, oh, maybe it's the witchy ones, maybe it's the spell ones, and of course I love all that kind of stuff, but it's really going in towards empowerment. And the blue flame, which I'm teaching now, my journey club, the karmic release one is another one that keeps coming up. I thought I was I thought I was done teaching that, but my guides are like, no, you're not. So teaching things along that line that has to do with empowering people, looking at how to clear their energies and how to step forward in order to create more prosperity and abundance and stand firmly in the changes that are coming forward in our world. Because a lot of things, and the other part too, and this is just some of the things that I've noticed from other other spiritualists, is that they are really trying to quiet people on what they are doing, right? But the idiots found where you are checking comments yeah, checking. I try and check the comments. I do. I try as much as I can. But there's a lot happening where people like astrologers and stuff, they're trying to censor them, and censor more people who are spiritual. So that's one of the reasons why the churches and everything were being closed, and why you're finding the Pope. Why is the Pope going for vaccine, and why is the Pope going for a lot of the centralized government and giving up possessions, is so the Catholic Church can still have control, right? And a lot of people don't realize that the Catholic Church does have shares in many of the top companies. They own shares in Microsoft. They own shares in Amazon. They own shares in some of the top companies, big companies in the world. And why? And they own quite a lot of shares in those things too. And that's just to keep an awareness and a lookout on how things are done. Oh yeah, I don't always see everybody's comments, because not all the comments come up that I don't see all the comments. Sometimes I try and comment as much as I can with some people, with some people some people with people, but sometimes I don't see all the comments, unfortunately, or I'm not always on Facebook, or they don't come across my feed. So all that, all the crazy, all the lovely things, I have to go through each one. And you know and see. So anyways, I'll check it out, Dana, on seeing where you commented on the feed. I only see Candace's. That's the only one I see. It's all about Candace. Candace and Greg. I only see Greg's. So, everyone, I'm going to send you guys out so much love. I want you guys to have a fabulous day. Stand in your power, stand in your truth. There is going to, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what the government does to China because of China's hacking. So that's going to be, yes, Candace peed on me, so I'm hers. On what the government's going to do with China right now. So that's going to be a very interesting one. And the sanctions, are they going to put sanctions on China? That's going to be an interesting one if they do. And the threats that China and United States and North Korea made on the United States to not step into Cuba, which is another really one because that's their back door. That's their backyard. And so that's causing a lot of unrest. And that could be some of the anxiety that people are feeling too, because that's causing a lot of unrest within the world right now. So all those little nudges, all those little things, are causing these little ripples to come in. So that's why it's so important for us to stand within our power at this time. So, my loves, I am going to send out positive vibrations to everybody. And I'm going to read Dana's comment. I'm going to find Dana's comment. I'm going to read Dana's comment. And and I'm going to send everybody out so much love. If you guys can share out my YouTube page and like and subscribe. I'm at 133 followers. Yes, my goal is 1,000. Why do I want 1,000? Because then I can actually reach more people and do more things. So that's what my goal is, to reach 1,000. So have a big one, and I love you all, and may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you and all that you say and all that you be. Have a blessed one, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.